the sacred beings, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about star seeds, so specifically the 12 zodiac signs, so the 12 constellations of your normal zodiac. When I did the research for this, I discovered that not only are you going to find out in this video like your zodiac sign, the constellation that you could have originated from being a starseed, within that constellation are some popular origins that we've talked about before. Some are new, but most of them we've covered, and this is really going to bring it full circle of maybe places you think you originated from, but now you know it's within your zodiac constellation, so maybe it'll become more apparent or clear to you in confirmation that this is your true origin. So I thought this would be a fun video. So if you guys like spiritual stuff and you want to grow together on this channel, then make sure to please subscribe, because that's what we are all about. And without further ado, let's talk about star seeds. So we're just gonna get right to it. Hopefully you already have your birth chart, but if you don't, this is where you wanna go, astro-charts.com. You wanna plug in all your information. This is gonna give you your tropical chart. You do wanna screenshot your planets at the top and the houses at the bottom and keep that aside. Now you wanna change it in the settings to sidereal. And real quick, I just want to say, I know I pronounce everything wrong, and that's only because I don't watch videos out there to teach me. I'm just kind of learning this all myself and sharing it with you so we can grow together. So if I say things wrong, I think I had a comment about how to say sidereal, and I just say it how it's kind of spelt. The American language is just weird, and then you throw in like accents, and that could change how people say things. Long story short, I know I'm saying sidereal wrong, and I didn't look up how to say it right. So we're just going to continue the video. So now you want to change it to sidereal and screenshot that planets and houses. And now I'm going to give you the markings to look for. So this is where I recommend like taking notes, because at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some examples of maybe your sun, moon, and rising. So your top 3, how that could affect your origin possibly. It's just a theory. And then to compare your tropical and sidereal. So let's just get your information, jot it down, and at the end of the video, we'll kind of go over our findings. Okay, so let's just start in the top of the zodiac. I'm gonna go in order of the year, how the year goes. So starting with Capricorn, which is from December 22nd to January 19th. So if you're born but within those dates, then you're a Capricorn. But you know what's different is the markings of that constellation are not always in the degrees of Capricorn. So when you're looking at your chart, I'm going to have mine up here as an example, but we're going to be looking at the number on the left. It's going to say your sign and have 2 different numbers. You just want to focus on the one on the left. So in Capricorn constellation, which is known as the sea goat, which you probably know if you're Capricorn, like your animal is the goat. I think for fun, I'm also going to put like what your sign looks like up here, but basically, even if you're not a Capricorn, you still want to look at all these markings, because you may have originated from that constellation. It might not just be because you're a Capricorn in your tropical chart, might not be just this easy answer that that's where you came from. So in Capricorn, you want to look for Aquarius. You're going to look for 3, 4, 5, 7, 11, 12, 13, 16, 17, 20, 21, 23, and 25. So if you're 1 or 2 degrees away from any of those numbers, then you want to tally mark how many you get. So if you have like an 18 or 19, even though I didn't say 18 or 19, it still counts because you're 2 away. So just tally mark how many you have and make sure you note down if you're doing tropical or sidereal and the tally mark. So kind of this is what I did. So I had tropical, sidereal, and then I had my sun, moon, and rising, which we'll talk about at the end. And then I put down all the markings that I have. That way I can look back at this later to compare, like piece together what I think my origin is before I came to Earth. So the other thing I found cool, so even if you have these markings in Capricorn, not only are you a Capricorn or Capricornus starseed, you're most likely an Arcturian. So maybe you've done like the galactic reading, which one of you have mentioned. I've done a video of that where you just put in your information and it tells you what you are. I'll link that above so the person who commented that I can just use that instead. Yes, it gives you everything that you're looking for, but this stuff is not going to be in there. It's not going to give you a marking for a Capricorn, I don't believe. But yeah, if you have this marking, you probably already know that you're Arcturian. If not, then this is just another sign for you to add to your notes for further investigation. And then, by the way, every time I give you the starseed, I'm giving you the most popular one associated with that constellation, so that way you can go online and Google about it. So if I give you a starseed example, it's because there's a lot of information out there for you. So if you aligned with this Capricorn, Arcturian starseed, then look up Arcturian starseed and you'll find all the traits and all of that. So same thing moving forward in this video. So that one was a little long, but it's because I'm kind of giving you the layout of how this is going to go along the rest of the video. So let's move on to number 2, Aquarius. My mom is an Aquarius. And then let me just throw it in right now. So if you look, you should have already screenshotted. So you have your tropical and sidereal, your sun, moon, and rising. Your rising is what's called ascendant in your chart. And I wrote those at the top of my notes. So most of you know, like right now, people ask you what your sign is. For me, I'd be like, oh, I'm a Gemini. But you don't normally know your moon and rising, and they have a lot of significance to learn about yourself, but that's a totally another video. But in this case, you do want to mark them down. So even though I'm a Gemini, my sidereal is a Taurus. And even though my moon and rising is Leo for tropical, my moon and rising for sidereal is Cancer. So I'm really looking at 4 different things. Most of you will have 6 different zodiacs because I think it's rare to have your moon and rising the same constellation. So we'll go into that later, but just make sure you keep a note of it and keep aware of the starseed name. Definitely put a note in there like, oh, that's associated with my sun, or that aligns with my moon. Put that note in there. So Aquarius. This is if you're born January 20th to February 18th, and this is the water bearer. That's why their symbol looks like waves. Aquarius, these are the markings you want to look for. So in this case, you are going to be looking at Aquarius degrees, which are 11, 12, 13, 16, 23, 24, and 28. And then in Pisces. So if I'm going too fast, just hit the pause button or rewind. I'm just trying, not to make this video super long. But Pisces, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, 16, 17, 19, and 20. So if you have any of those markings, make sure to mark them down. If you have 3 or more for one constellation or one origin, then that is a confirmation that you're probably from there. So you want a minimum of 3. You can be 1 to 2 degrees away. But if you're an Aquarius starseed, you're most likely from Hydra, like a Hydra starseed, which I've talked about those before, and the exact markings for Hydra. So this is where I give you 2 numbers. So in Pisces, it would say 1024 is exact alignment with Hydra. So definitely look up Hydra starseed traits. You'll definitely find that information out there. And then let's move on to number 3, Pisces. So if you're born February 19th to March 20th, then you're a Pisces, which are the fishes. And you want to look in your chart, you are looking for Pisces is 18 or 21, so not much to look for there, 18, 21. And then in Aries, you want to look for 2, 14, 17, 26 through 29. So that's 26, 27, 28, and 29. So if you have 1 to 2 away from those, then you're also considered not only a Pisces starseed, but a Palladian starseed. And then I forgot to mention, when I mentioned the Capricorn, you're most likely Arcturian, and now in Pisces, you're most likely a Palladian. It's because within the star system, with all the degrees, like the names of the star system were not like a well-known location. So I use this website. I recommend you go to this if I give you this example. So for Capricorn and Pisces, number 1 and number 3, you do want to go to this website, and you can read more about it, but it's called collective.world. I'll put the link below, but because there wasn't anything specifically in the degrees, I looked up like Pisces Zodiac starseed, and they said most likely if you're a Pisces, you're a Palladian or have Palladian connections. So you may or may not already know that, but this is definitely another confirmation if you've been wondering. So that happens in a couple of these, and I'll tell you when that does happen. Otherwise, I give you the exact degree with the specific starseed origin, but for some of them, I give you a general grouping. So Pisces are most likely Palladians. Okay, let's move on to number 4, Aries. If you are an Aries, then you probably already know you're born between March 21st and April 19th, and it's called the Ram. And it's known as the Ram constellation. So this one is going to be in Taurus, is what you're looking for. Taurus in your chart is 3, 7, 14, 15, 16, 18, 20, and 21. So here we go, talking about your sun, moon, and rising. An example, my sun in my sidereal chart is 20, and this falls under the category of that website. So it's a general grouping, is Andromeda. That is, so you'd be an Aries Andromedan starseed. So when I did that galactic video, I do have history connections with Andromeda, so I know that that's pretty accurate. So I did like that, and it's on my sun. So I was going to talk about this at the ends, but the sun talks about your core self, and it was in my sidereal, which sidereal talks about your true self as well. When a tropical talks about you right now, sidereal, where I came from, where I'm going back to, my sun core self is saying Andromeda. So that's interesting. Definitely keep those notes for later. But let's move on to number 5, Taurus. And this one is the Bull, which you probably already know. You're born April 20th through May 20th. And you're going to be looking for Taurus, 21 and 29 in Taurus. And then also in Gemini, you want to look for 0, 3, 5 through 10. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 22, 23, and 24. So this one is pretty cool. If you align with these, definitely note down if you have 29 in Taurus, because within the Taurus constellation, there's a star system called Electra, and it's exactly at 29, 25 in Taurus. So look up Electra. There is some information out there about them. And then if you are 0 Gemini 0, so 0 0 Gemini, that aligns with, I'm gonna say it wrong, Alcyon. So look up them. There is information for that. And then also Aldebaran, I've talked about them before, but you would have 9 Gemini, or exactly 948 in Gemini, relates specifically with Aldebaran. And then lastly, exactly if you have 549 in Gemini, or 653 in Gemini, or 758 in Gemini. Those are just the exact ones. But from Hyadian, I've talked about them as well, but all of those you can look up. But overall, it's Palladian. This is within the Palladian constellation, but it gives you the specifics location. So it kind of narrows it down. So not like, oh, I'm Palladian, but I'm a Palladian from star system, Electra. That's pretty more specific for you guys to look into. But let's move on to number 6 is Gemini, May 21st to June 20th. I am June 5th, if you guys are interested in knowing that. But these are the twins, which probably everybody knows. But let's look in their chart. You would be looking for Cancer 0, 3, 5, 6, 9, 11, 15, 18, 20, 21, 22, and 23. So this is the one where you would check out the website if you want to learn more, but it's in general. If you are a Gemini, then you probably have history or origins in Polaris, excuse me. So you're a Polarian. And I don't know if you guys watch that show, The 100, but they're always talking about going to Polaris, or like Polaris is mentioned a lot. And I was like connected with that right away. So definitely that makes sense of that popping up. Just being a Gemini, you're Polarian. I definitely have like something in me that there's like a spark of memory of some sort. So that's definitely a sign of confirmation. So let's move on to 7, Cancer. So this is June 21st to July 22nd, the Crab. So this, you're looking for Leo, is 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 13. This is the same thing with the website. Broad overview. If you're a Cancer, then you probably have Palladian roots, which there are a lot of Palladians on Earth right now, so that's why it comes up so much. But I thought it was interesting that my moon in my tropical chart, 15 in Leo, which is 2 away from 13, so that is a marking. And then your moon talks about your inner self. So this is my tropical chart, my lifetime right now. My moon aligns with Palladian, so I definitely know I have some history with them. But let's move on to number 8, Leo, which you're born July 23rd through August 22nd, the Lion. So you want to look for, this is actually in Leo, 15, 17, 20, 21, 24, 27, 29. And then in Virgo, 6, 10, 11, 13, 16, 17, 18, 21. And then just pause the video and rewind to hear them again. But this one does align with a well-known race, or at least it has information online about it. If you have 29 Leo, exactly 2950, then you align with one of the royal stars. And I've talked about royal stars before. I can link it above, but definitely look at the Starseed playlist. You'll find the royal stars on there. But Regulus, I think that's how you say it, is 2950 Leo. So look them up if you align with that. And I thought this was interesting. My tropical rising is 20 in Leo, but I have 4 markings total. So definitely Leo constellation. And definitely me thinking that like I have lion roots, and being a cat, the lion, a big cat. That's kind of confirmation there for me. But like I said, you want 3 or more markings in Leo constellation, Regulus, Starseed, Royal Star. Definitely all aligns. I know that I've had those confirmations before, so that is interesting. But let's move on to number 9, Virgo. You're born August 23rd through September 22nd, known as the Maiden. You want to look for, in Virgo, there's just one. It's 27. And then in Libra, you want to look for 2, 4, 9, 10, 11, 22, and 23. And lastly, in Scorpio, you want to look 3, 6, 10. So this would be a Spica starseed. Look them up. There's info out there. I've talked about them a little bit. But exactly in Libra, Spica would be 2350. So definitely look into them if you align. Let's move on to number 10 is Libra. You're born September 23rd through October 22nd, known as the scales. So the like balancing scales, all about balance. You want to look for Scorpio is 15, 18, 19, 25, 27. So you want to use the website on this. And it says if you're a Libra, you may be a Syrian or come from Sirius. So a Syrian starseed. If you're a Libra, you may already know that. And then we have 2 more left. So going to 11 is Scorpio, born October 23rd to November 21st, the Scorpion. And it's actually called Scorpius Constellation. You want to look in Sagittarius, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9. There's a lot in Sagittarius. 11, 15, 16, 17, 20. After 20, it's 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. So I had 4 markings for Scorpius Constellation, which is aligned with Antares, which is another royal star. So I do have 2 royal stars out of 4 in my birth chart. I do recommend looking at that video because it talks about the meaning of having them in your chart. It's kind of rare. Exactly Antares is in Sagittarius 946. But these are also the mantis beings. So I think someone has mentioned like talking about mantis beings. Well, here are your markings right here. Scorpius Constellation, Antares, most likely a mantis being race, like history. Definitely Google them if you're interested. And then lastly, we have made it to the last one, number 12, Sagittarius. You are born between November 22nd to December 21st. The Archer. So you want to look in Capricorn. They're all in Capricorn. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 12 through 16. So that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 25. So Polis, remember I mentioned that for previous markings for Gemini constellation. This has the exact marking for Polaris or Polarian is in Capricorn, which is 313. So if you have 313 in Capricorn, like within the same line, then that's exactly Polis. So you're a Polarian starseed as well. And this I have 3 markings. So I thought that was interesting because remember earlier I said I felt a similarity or like history with the name. Well, this has 3 markings from that area as a confirmation. So that's definitely confirming. But now that you're at the end of the video, you should have all your notes. So let's dive a little bit more into that. So the difference between looking at your tropical and your sidereal, I've mentioned this before, but I actually had one of you guys tell me what it means because I was just using tropical charts, which is nice. It talks about your life right now. That is helpful. But you guys, one of you mentioned that I should be looking at the sidereal because it talks about where you came from, like your true self. So that's why we look at both of them. You have right now, which you probably have some similarities and markings to confirm your origin. But it's also nice to look at sidereal just to see because you might have the same markings between the two, which is like a really big confirmation. And then looking at your sun, moon, and rising. So we talked about a little bit the sun being your core self. Well, your moon is your inner self. So maybe what you don't really show to people. And then your rising is your outer self. So like how people see you. So I thought it was interesting that my core self on my sidereal chart is Andromedan or the Aries constellation. My moon is Cancer or Palladian in my tropical chart, which talks about my life right now, my inner self Palladian. And then my rising, which is in Leo with tropical, is a royal star like Regulus. So I thought all that was interesting. So with that information, I would go Google like that starseed and see just how you feel reading the traits, because that's what you need as a confirmation is how you feel. Like, does it sound like you? Do you have an inner knowing that that's your home, or you have some sort of familiar connection? That's what you want to go with. You don't really need these markings. This is just for fun, and you want to take everything online, especially with my channel, with a grain of salt, because I'm learning on the spiritual journey. This is stuff I'm interested in that I thought I would just share with you guys. So I really hope you liked this video. I do already know what I'm doing for the next video. Let this be a little sneak peek, but I feel like 2025 has started with a lot of like reflecting inward and like healing and like being more natural in yourself, which I'll explain that in my next video, but it's going to be about shadow work. I've been wanting to do this for a while because I need it in my life. But like today, 2025, I moisturize. We're doing all natural. I don't know. I just got over a cold. That's why I'm kind of sounding different. But I'm feeling better, and I'm feeling like 2025 is going to have a lot of healing energy into it, and a lot of like restorative, transformational energy. I don't know. That's what I'm feeling. So how are you guys feeling? Let me know below. And thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.